Greetings, bays, bows, and boos. I'm Jade Hollow, and I would like to welcome you to the Locked Tome, a YouTube channel where I talk about all things horror. As I've made connections in the horror community as an adult, I've exposed myself as kind of a unique case when it comes to being a horror fan. Horror is my comfort zone. Horror movies require the least mental bandwidth from me, and so are what I watch new movies of in vast majority to any other genre. That's not to say that horror movies aren't engaging or intellectual, depending on what kind you're watching, of course, but I can watch a succession of characters fighting for their life without getting fatigued. I'm also willing to accept flaws in horror movies more readily than other types of movies. Like, if a character does something blatantly stupid for the plot, I'll just shrug and go, welp, I guess I know who's dying next. Maybe part of it is the satisfaction in punishment for characters that do that, whereas when action movies have ridiculous inconsistencies in logic, I'll just get ragey pissed, with little to no humor for it. That said, my actual catalog for horror movies and knowledge is quite limited. I didn't watch many horror movies as they came out as a teenager, and didn't have a supply to watch older classics. Most of the movies I watched ended up being really obscure. Zero-effort horror movies were my bread and butter. When Mr. Gigi made a video about WrestleManiac, I finally had someone to share my pain with. I actually knew that movie. That's the kind of shit I'm used to. Although I adore and have watched Bride and Seed of Chucky dozens of times, I didn't actually watch the original Child's Play trilogy until I was in my mid-20s. I saw Rob Zombie's Halloween as my first horror movie in theaters, and again, didn't pick up the originals until I was an adult, last year. So that's what we're dealing with here. I've got very little experience with most renowned and classic horror franchises like Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm a disgrace. But I'm going to fix that, and you can come along on the journey with me as I educate myself. Expect lots of series about watching horror classics for the first time, and my very biased opinion on them now that I am an adult, unblinded by nostalgia. If that sounds interesting to you, please subscribe to the channel. I'm super excited to share my experiences with you, catching up on missed horror gems. See you in the next video. Boo!